Hey, what's going on, everybody? Max here with BB, and today for 10 Minutes Max, we're going to be talking about Bitcoin, Ethereum, ETH against Bitcoin, and generally just where majors are headed as we get deeper into Q4, and we have the US presidential election right around the corner. Volatility incoming. So here we have Bitcoin on the higher time frames. We'll zoom in just a little bit just to show you really how close we came on the Bitcoin spot chart to breaking all-time highs. So we'll just touch base on this real quick, and then we'll keep it moving. But as you can see, I mean, this is the Bitstamp chart. It's kind of different on every exchange, but yesterday, Bitcoin was a quarter of a percent away. It was like less than 200 points away from making a new all-time high, right? The bears were able to hold it off just for a little bit longer. But look, guys, I really think that anything on the lower time frames, any sort of local rejection here, really does not matter because, as far as I can tell, when I look at this chart, we had a clear downtrend for about 7 months. We'll flip this to be red, and that just recently turned into an uptrend, and we are now pushing all-time highs in seasonally one of the best times to be invested in crypto. And actually, I'll pop over here and show you exactly what I'm talking about. Um, so looking at the BB terminal right here, we're gonna look at actually monthly returns for Bitcoin. So this is Bitcoin throughout basically its entire history. Not quite, but goes pretty far back, all the way to 2013. And I'll hide my face here just so you guys can see all of it. Typically the best returns come in right here at the bottom. You can see the average October, November, and December. Obviously, it's October 30th. But typically you get these Q4 tailwinds that you just don't want to fight seasonality with, right? You just average return in October for Bitcoin is 21%, November 46, December 6, and you really are starting to see here. I'll go back to TradingView. You're starting to see these seasonal tailwinds really take hold, and prices, just climbing up, flirting with the all-time high, and it really is just a matter of time before it breaks. And before we move on to one more thing, I want to just show you actually something that happened here, because this is the Bitcoin CME futures chart. And here's the all-time high that was set back in March. We actually came up yesterday, and the Bitcoin futures chart actually did make a new all-time high, right? So slight kind of divergence between the futures price and the spot price, which is not uncommon, but just thought that was really interesting and worth an observation, is that Bitcoin futures actually did make a new all-time high. So really, in my view, it's just a matter of time before Bitcoin ends up, trending much higher. But let's take a jump over here into ETH against Bitcoin, right? Because in my view, Bitcoin is it's flirting with price discovery. It's just a matter of time before this thing really blasts through. We're basically trying to break out of a 7 or 8 month bull flag that we've been stuck in since like Q1. And again, CME futures made an all-time high. Bitcoin spot prices have not quite gotten there. They were within a quarter of a percent. But what's the deal with Ethereum, right? Like, what is the deal with Ethereum? Well, here, actually, let's go back to this real quick, just to show you, right? Maybe you don't know what I'm talking about, but here's Bitcoin. That's actually the Bitcoin futures chart, but it doesn't really matter. It's on the daily time frame, and we'll pull up ETH, and as you can see, here's the charts side by side on the same time frame. Bitcoin is pressing all-time highs, and ETH is still well underneath its previous high, right? Like, Bitcoin is basically at its all-time high, and ETH, measuring from its yearly high to where it is right now, is still down 35%. So now talking about the Ethereum against Bitcoin pair, ETH BTC, what's the deal? Right? Like, what is the deal with this chart? It has been literally down only since 2021. That's over 1,000 days of literally just straight down in a straight line, right? And I see a lot of people, kind of fudding Ethereum. FUD stands for fear, uncertainty, and doubt, saying ETH is dead. There's all these Ethereum killers. It's bad tech. Well, listen, guys, this is the same kind of thing that we see every cycle. And I'm going to show you a few charts that I have preloaded here. So first, we're going to start with the seasonality of Ethereum. Okay, and if you follow me on Twitter, you may have already seen this. I did tweet this out earlier. All right, so now let's change this to green, just because that's how I have it labeled. And then we can go back to the chart. So here's Ethereum against Bitcoin. And again, for those that don't know what this means, if the chart is moving down, Bitcoin's a better hold than ETH. If it's moving up, ETH is a better hold than Bitcoin. So it's just dividing these two majors, the two largest crypto assets and L1s against each other, right? So if you're holding ETH and you're like, oh man, this is painful, right? Well, here's the good news is that typically going back 2 cycles, in Q4, which is the green shaded area, Ethereum does not typically perform that well. What it does in Q4 is it carves out a bottom sometime in Q4 and it starts to move up. And then in Q1, starts to move up again, 2 cycles ago, and then this previous cycle right here in 21. And what are we doing right now? Well, we're in the green, right? The current cycle's in green. We're moving down into Q4, trying to carve out a bottom. And we'll probably do the exact same thing that we've done in the previous 2 cycles, where the seasonal tailwinds of Ethereum against Bitcoin, and again, Bitcoin has seasonal tailwinds as well, but ETH outperforming Bitcoin is what we're looking for, would be, bottoming sometime over here and then moving up in Q1 and then, potentially really blasting off in Q2, because look at how crazy these charts have gotten. In Q2, typically that's when you get real sort of mania vibes, right? But the point me showing you this is that it really should kind of carve out a bottom here, right? Like if you don't bottom here in Q4, and by the way, I think that you will. I think there's good reason to. You have a problem, but this is what we have always seen. Now I'm going to show you another chart for Ethereum against Bitcoin. So let's put the candles back on here. Okay. So additionally, we're going to look at what Bitcoin does and what ETH BTC does. So the pair, what they do against each other right about now. All right, so let me change these colors up real quick. And we're going to put Bitcoin down below and ETH BTC up top. So what we need to acknowledge is the Bitcoin all-time high breaks, because right now, as you can see, Bitcoin has been stuck at the previous cycle all-time high for quite some time. All right, I'll label this previous cycle. That's huge. I'll make that smaller. Previous cycle all-time high. All right, we'll make that. I'll just do font 20 and we'll make it black. All right. What we'll do is we'll save all-time high just to save a little bit of time here. So then we'll mark out the previous cycle, or 2 cycles ago. Well, yeah, previous cycle. And then 2 cycles ago, it gets cut off because this ETH BTC chart doesn't go all the way back. But this was actually, it wicked above the previous cycle all-time high. All right. So here we go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually move Bitcoin up here and we'll have a little bit more room to work with. So here's, again, Bitcoin on the bottom. And here's ETH against Bitcoin right here. All right, so you can see I got the Bitcoin label and then ETH BTC. Let's mark out these red boxes here. So when have these red boxes occurred where ETH against Bitcoin has basically capitulated? Well, it's happened as Bitcoin has grinded up to the previous all-time highs, right? So Bitcoin right over here moves up from like $500 to over 1,000. So Bitcoin doubles, but ETH against Bitcoin is down only, as you can see right here. Now, what about over here last cycle? Bitcoin goes from 8K all the way to 20K, basically doubles, and ETH BTC is down only, as you can see right here. Just falling, looks terrible. What about right now? Bitcoin went from about, let's say, like upper 20s to 70-ish, and ETH BTC has been down only. This just feels really painful because we've been here for so long, right? But then typically what happens is as soon as Bitcoin breaks through the previous all-time high, look at what happens to ETH BTC. Look at that. As soon as Bitcoin breaks through the all-time high, goes into price discovery, ETH gets a year of outperformance. How about last cycle? Bitcoin breaks through the all-time high, and Ethereum against Bitcoin outperformed for about a year. How about right now? Well, it hasn't happened yet, but if we stayed on trend, we would bottom somewhere around here in Q4. And hopefully Ethereum will begin to catch up to Bitcoin. As I showed you guys, ETH is still 35% off of its 2024 yearly highs, and Bitcoin is basically in price discovery. It's like 1,000 points away, give or take. Additionally, I've got this volume profile right here. This is the area in which the most transacting has occurred in the lifetime of ETH against Bitcoin on the Binance pair. Okay, so basically think of this blue line here as like mega demand. This is super support. This is concrete, right? So in the history of ETH BTC, this is the area in which the most transacting has occurred. So we're approaching our lifetime or legacy point of control. And we know that Bitcoin's going to go into price discovery soon. You can't fight fate. And seasonally, you've got these tailwinds for not just Bitcoin, but also the entire asset class. And we recognize that the same dynamics are at play here, where Bitcoin has moved up almost into price discovery, and ETH has been lagging and bleeding, and everybody hates it. It's doing what we've always done, right? It's doing what we've always done. And I'm going to move back over to the BB terminal, and I wanted to just kind of discuss this with you guys, the Bitcoin fear and greed indicator here. And I'm going to remove myself just so it doesn't get cut off. But you can see that, well, we're in a bull market for Bitcoin. And by the way, these are all corresponding. So red is like major fear, right? When it's between 0 and 10 over here, that's like, things are cold, like it's terrible, everybody's afraid. And then mania is 90 through 100, right? You can see where we've kind of reached that, like sentiment is just really overextended, okay? But what I want to show you guys is last cycle, right? What happened here last cycle is, right before things kind of heated up and really went crazy, we saw a lot of these kind of like yellowish bubbles where fear and greed was like more or less between like 40 and then like 50 and 60, right? So let's say between 40 and 60, right? And then we went up and we had a mania phase where we had a lot of like euphoria and froth. And, sentiment's a really great way to kind of gauge where retail is, where most investors are, how people are positioned. And then we start to get 70, 80, 80, 90, and then even some 90 and 100s. And we really didn't get any, really low fear and greed index prints where we saw like some 30, 40 prints all the way until we were up like at the all-time high. So again, I'm just going to, here, we'll do this. See how these are illuminated here? This is when fear and greed is back between 30 and 40. So you can see that in September and October, we had fear and greed between 30 and 40-ish. And then we didn't get it again until we were basically distributing all the way up at the top, right? You can see there were some bubbles up there, right? So what I want to show you now is like where we're at sentiment-wise again. We basically just came out of a lot of these, 30 and 40 prints here, right at the lows. And there were actually a couple that were even more scary, right? There was an August 5th drop. But a lot of that kind of 20 to 30, 30 to 40, similar to last cycle, right? And what I'm expecting now is we're starting to heat up again because you can see we're now printing some like 50, 60. We're starting to heat up a little bit. We're starting to heat up a little bit. 70, 80, sentiment is improving. I would expect a really reliable signal once again on the fear and greed to really like lean into that to let you know when you're approaching mania, right? And we're probably similarly to last cycle, we're probably not going to see things really, cool off and tell us, hey, sentiment's kind of drying up until we start to see some 30 and 40 prints again on fear and greed, just like we did over here. See how they're illuminated? So we're now, we're cruising. We're back above, 50, 60, 70. I would expect like we should have mania until you start to see some 30 and 40 prints again. Just like we bottomed out over here. We'll probably start to see that again towards the cycle top. But, look at over here in March too. Look at how crazy it was up here in March. Like we were printing some, 70, 80 Even a 90 to 100, like Mania up here, 80 to 90, called this top perfectly, right? Called this top absolutely perfectly. So, and that same thing happened over here in 2019, right? Look at this right over here, 80, 90, 90 and 100 called the June 2019 top, and how about over here? Look at this. Called these two tops, and then of course we distributed, right? But you can see when things get frothy, and we're not quite there yet. So just a really cool indicator that we offer here on the BB terminal. But wanted to touch base with you guys on that and kind of show you where I'm feeling the markets at. So Bitcoin, price discovery soon. ETH, the catch up trade potentially of the next 6 months, all the way through Q1, and definitely I would think Q2. So thank you guys so much for being here. Before you guys go, please consider liking the video and also subscribing if you found some value out of what we just did here today. And last but not least, guys, please consider checking out the links below. I gave you a little sneak preview of the BB terminal. It is an absolutely awesome product, guys. It's a Swiss Army knife. It's got all of the tools and data that you could ever need or want in order to succeed in these markets. And we custom built it here at BB. We spent about 9 months to about a year actually building this thing from scratch, and we are now in beta, so you can actually use it. It's heavily discounted right now. And if you buy the BB terminal, you can also pay in crypto, guys. If you check that out, you can pay in crypto. You're going to get access to our Telegram alerts channel also. But if you really want to take your trading to the next level, guys, check out one of our Discord packages. What you can expect there is 3 hours per day of private live voice calls with me and the entire BB team and community. We have active positions channels, TA channels, things that we don't talk about here on YouTube or on X, guys. There's nothing like it out there. And within the BB Discord, you're going to get free access to the BB terminal included for free. There is not another community out there doing what we're doing, guys. So we continue to reinvest our time and our money into the community, and that's why people love it and they stay. So this market is too big to navigate alone. I encourage you to get out there, find your group. We certainly want to be that group for you. Maybe, it's not what you're looking for. Maybe it's exactly what you're looking for. But my trading has gotten exponentially better. My confidence in these markets has gotten exponentially better when I surrounded myself with the guys on the BB team and the BB community. A bunch of guys, like-minded individuals that take it seriously. So definitely consider checking out one of our Discord packages. But if not, join us with BB Terminal plus Telegram. Last but not least, guys, check out the BB Academy. If you like my charting here today and you want to learn all of our tips, tricks, secrets, everything like that, how we cumulatively as a team here at BB have navigated these markets from a technical and fundamental perspective for decades, check out the BB Academy, guys. I just dropped a free course, How to Make Your Trading View Charts Look Beautiful. Important first step. If you don't know how to look at the data and manipulate the data to be easier to understand, you're going to struggle. So check out that free course. But if you really want to take it to the next level and expedite your journey towards understanding these markets, check out the paid course, guys. There's nothing like it out there. I honestly can say with confidence, it's one of the best courses, if not the best trading courses for all levels, beginner, intermediate, advanced. It covers everything you need to know. So a lot of people out there, myself included, teaching TA for free and FA. But there's a difference between a paid product and a free product, and you guys will see that if you join the BB Academy. It's an absolutely awesome course. But yeah, join us somewhere, guys. Join us in the Discord. Check out BB Terminal. Check out BB Academy. You can pay in crypto now for our services, so major, major benefit. But anyways, guys, thanks so much for being here. Please like and subscribe, and we will see you next time. Take care.